Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Charity. If it's your first time here, you're watching Booked on Charity, and happy new year. Today I bring you the very first TBR of 2023. So we're doing my January TBR, and I have gone back to using TBRAvatar, which is a TBR game that G from BookedonCharity has created, and I absolutely love it. So I've rolled so that I can get my prompts earlier today, and then I've already selected my books, so I'll take you through all of the roles as well as the books that are accompanying those roles. Remember to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Remember to like this video at the end if you enjoy it, and remember to share this video with your friends and family. And let's get into it. So the first prompt, I'm just gonna hold this up, but I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to read it, is to read a book with a retelling. So for that, I have picked up Ariadne. I'm showing you like this because this is actually a proof copy that a friend of mine and we swapped books, and I really wanted Ariadne and she had it. So I've got Ariadne, and this is by Jennifer Saint. The front doesn't really tell you anything, and the back. So I believe that this is a retelling. I don't even know who Ariadne is, but I believe it's a retelling of something, chat. So I'm gonna go with this, and I don't really want to read anything from it, but it is Greek mythology. I have not read any books that are based on Greek mythologies. However, I do love watching movies from that are based on Greek mythology. So this will be my first book that I ever read, and like I said, I don't know who Ariadne is, and we'll find out. Babe, can you please help me pick my next read? Thank you. Okay. The next prompt was to have a family pick your next read. So I got my husband to help me out with this one, and he picked Beasts of Prey, and it's by Ayana Gray. I've had this book on my TBR for almost a year now, I think, and I think it's about time that I actually open it up. So I hope that I will get a chance to actually read it. And just as a note, so I've done 10 roles because 10 feels like a good number for me to select a TBR out of. It doesn't necessarily mean that I will read 10 books. I'm pretty sure I won't read 10 books, but my rule of thumb is that I'm just gonna pick 10 books every month. I'm not gonna be counting any carryovers. I'm recording this video like still in December, so I don't even know which books I would be carrying over anyway. But my rule for doing TBRAvatar would be to roll 10 rolls first in January, and then hopefully I get to read those books that are selected. And depending on how I did when I do my rolls for February, I'm gonna subtract the number of books that I didn't get to read from this pile. However, if I do manage to read additional books that I didn't pick here, I'm gonna add on, and then we'll move my piece to wherever it needs to be. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that's how I'm gonna do it. The next prompt was Fire Nation, and this was to read a book with the word fire in the title or have fire on the cover. And with that, I've got With Fire in Their Blood, and this is by Kat Delacourt. So this is a YA fantasy. Beast of Prey is also YA fantasy. So far I've got 2 YA fantasy books, and yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one and seeing what it's about. I hope they would read quickly. I need to kind of like work on my reading schedule for 2023. Even though I did so well in 2022 in terms of my reading, I feel like later in the year I struggled a little bit with my reading and it became very, very slow. So yeah, I do believe that I can potentially read all these books if I actually set a time for myself to read every day. Okay, the next prompt is Flopsy, read a book that you find intimidating. For this one, I picked Chunker, number 1, and I picked a book that I've been saying I wanted to read for so long because it's the start of a new series and it will open me up to the next series, and that is Lady Midnight, and this is by Cassandra Clare. And this is book 1 of the Dark Artifices series, which is part of the Shadowhunters world. So I'm trying to get through this series so that I can actually eventually get to the Last Hour series in preparation for the new book that's coming out, I believe either end of January if not February. But yeah, so this is my intimidating read because it's very, very thick, and I've never read from Cassandra Clare yet, so I don't know what to expect in terms of writing. So I hope that I will really, really enjoy the story. The next prompt was TBRAvatar, and this is to read a book you got because you heard good things about it from the community, and that would be Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. And yeah, Leigh Bardugo is number 1 best-selling authors on the book, but also I picked this one because the second book is coming out very soon as well. I think it's also releasing in January, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I started this book, I mean, I have a bookmark. I started this book, but then the writing style was a little intimidating for me, and then I put it down because I feel like, whoa, I don't know what you're talking about. But maybe I didn't really give it a chance, and it had quite a long prologue. It did. I think it had a very long prologue because I didn't even get to finish. I didn't get to finish the prologue, and there was a lot of references about the colleges in America or whatever, and I'm like, I don't get none of it. but I'm gonna try again. Maybe I was actually not in the mood for it, and hopefully I'll find myself in the mood for it. This is a dark academia fantasy novel about secret societies and all that jazz. So yeah, I'm looking forward to 9 House and gear myself up for Hellbent. The next prompt is the Blue Spirit, and it is to read a blue book. So for that, I chose If I Survive You, and this is by Jonathan Escoffery. And I've got a proof copy, and this book is releasing on the 2nd of February in 2023. So I am hoping to actually, I picked this one because I'm hoping to finish this arc before the release date, and I can actually give a review of the book. It's quite a short one, so it shouldn't take me that long to read it, as long as I prioritize it and schedule the reading. The next prompt is Battle, and this is read a book with an author's name that begins with either an A or a B. So I decided on A, and I picked my first sci-fi of the year, which is Artemis, and this is by Andy Weir. So I've had Artemis for quite some time as well, and I think I've had it on a couple of TBRs in 2022, and I finally want to get to it because one of my goals for 2023 is to read about, I think I put it at 10 sci-fi books, because I really want to explore the genre, and I feel like I didn't get, well, I did this year because I read Saga, right, the graphic novel, and it is a sci-fi fantasy. But yeah, I want to get more into sci-fi in 2023, so I hope I can open that up with Artemis and see how it goes. The next prompt is Zuko's Lost Ponytail. Read something that has 150 pages or less. So for this prompt, I chose a children's book, and it is called Disaster at Gogo's Plaza. So Plaza is like a little tuck shop. It's a tuck shop basically, that you have in a township that usually is part of somebody's house, and they use a garage or whatever as the shop. And this is by Salemina Mosese, and it is illustrated by Vian Olofsson. So I really like this. The cover is very cute, and I'm really looking forward to the story. This is how many pages? This is 107 pages, so this should be a nice quick read, and I can give a nice little review of the book. I don't review children's books often, and I want to start doing that in 2023. I think this one is definitely going to be a very quick one. I can literally sit down, and within an hour I should be able to finish this one. So this is definitely going to be a book that I finish. Let me just put back, I'm putting back the prompts in the books so I can remember when I do pick them up. The next prompt is Creeping Crystal, read a sweet contemporary. So for that, I decided to read a YA contemporary romance, which is called Love Radio, and this is by Ebony Liddell. I've heard really good things about this book. However, when I tried to read it like a couple of weeks ago, I think the mistake I made was reading another romance book just before this that I didn't enjoy as much, and when I started this, it felt like the premise was kind of like similar, especially with regards to the main author and them being a writer and not really believing in love. Like, I found it tedious, and then I put it down because I'm like, I really want to give this book a fair chance, and I won't be able to do that if I continue with it at that point. So I decided to put it down, but I am ready to pick it up again. The final prompt was troll. I think this is troll, right? And it says read a book where the main character is an adult. And for that, I decided to go into thriller because I actually don't have a thriller in here, and thriller books have become one of my favorite genres to read, and for that I chose For Your Own Good, and this is by Samantha Downing. The tagline says some lessons can be deadly, so I have no idea what this book is about, but B.A. Paris says it's dark, twisty and compelling, and that's exactly what I need from a thriller. So yeah, this is the final book. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments down below what you're planning to read in January. What is going to be that first book that you open when January starts? I'm still gonna figure out what I would read next. So the first thing I need to figure out is my reading schedule, and I usually kind of like pack my books on my book cart in that way, so I can kind of like plan my reading. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up, as it really helps my video get noticed on YouTube and recommended. Please also remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Share this video with your friends and family,